Look at this patch. I mean, oh my God, can you look at how many things are in this patch for us to do? Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be especially exciting because there's another massive update to Exos Heroes. We have the patch notes here, and I'm going to go through and show them to you. We got everything from a new character with a new banner up, which we're going to talk about. We got a new Labyrinth, some new hard bosses. We got all kinds of crazy stuff going into the game, as well as a new enhancement, which is going to make it where you can break multiple stones at a time. So sit back, relax, like the video to help me out, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. I appreciate your time watching this one. Let's go ahead and roll the intro.
Well, pod. Welcome, well, pod. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Darth Microtransactions channel, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. Well, pod, welcome back.
Okay, so first things first, what we got to look at here is if you actually look at the update maintenance itself, it got delayed. It was supposed to be yesterday, but it ended up being delayed till today due to some Apple type of delays on the iOS inspection. That's what they say here, and they apologize a whole bunch. This is pretty par for the course. This has happened in a lot of other gachas. It's not really a big deal, okay? The Apple Store can delay these type of things. Now, maintenance times were fairly long. It was a near 7-hour maintenance, but they added a lot to the game, so no problem. Effects of the maintenance you cannot play. They kind of just break it down in dumb terms here, but then we get down here to the fake core update, and this is where we actually start to get things that matter. Now, this is Iris from a parallel world. They have a little bit of lore here. Basically, it's Bikini Iris, and then if you go down here, the fake core chance up Holiday at the White Ocean Iris, that's the name of it. You can recruit the hero plus fake core, the higher probability and premium recruit, as is tradition. It is a 0.7% chance per slot. And then you're doing the 11 pull for her, and when you do get the character, you do also get a 5-star hero as well as the fake core. Now they go down to talk about the fake core abilities here. Here's the base stats. You can see skill information, the cleanses, damage over time, and debuff effects from allies and gain mana, 1 mana. Okay, so it is the cleanse passive, and then flop, kind of a weird name here. If the caster has removable buff, recovery, positive effects applied, each valid attack imbues modification for 3 turns. Modification, from what I understand it, is sort of like a transforming ability. You basically CC them temporarily. It's like another sort of stun. Then you have the Summer's Blessing, which when the battle starts, you get the frost damage immunity. We've talked about this before with other characters. It looks like this is going to be consistent with the summer characters. This is probably all of them are going to have this passive. It's pretty good. It makes it where it counters giant frost AoEs. And then the buff increases the target's attack by 50% for 9 turns when frost damage immunity effect is removed. Means she's going to be doing more damage after she eats the first frost damage. Okay, pretty much that simple. And then there's Wet Fog, which I actually read as Wet Frog the first time for some reason. Removes all barriers the enemy has when the enemy uses barrier once per round. When the enemy barrier is removed by the effect of Wet Fog, the defense of all enemies is decreased by 20% of own maximum health for 9 turns. So if you have yellow stones, if you have, the Dragon Guardian passive, things that are going to trigger barriers on yourself, this is bad now, sort of. This character, every time it's around, so as it cycles through the characters, it's going to be removing all of those people's barriers, basically, which is kind of nuts. This is actually a really good passive. I don't know if they're going to be adding this as like, Wet Fog's a new named passive, much like Cleanse and all these other ones, where it's going to be showing up on other characters, because that's a very good passive. I think that makes this character very good. Her A1 is pretty good too, removes all status effects from all allies and then targets gain mana. That's 2 mana. I think that's not bad either, and has probably a lot of theory crafting effects. If you look at the white mana release, it's 525% damage to 1 enemy. I like this move as well, because this means this character not only removes barriers and decreases their own maximum health, or excuse me, their defense by their own maximum health, but she also has a single target, not a hardcore nuke, but a fairly decent nuke on a single shot, which means even on her own turns, because the other moves are on her passive, she probably has the ability to maybe one-shot some of these Guardian characters due to the fact she's removing their barriers. I think she's quite good. If you're considering polling for her, she's probably worth polling for. I don't know if she's worth pitying for at full well prices, but if you have the Zez saved up, she's probably worth it. That's my personal opinion. Now, whether or not they're going to be adding new characters that counter her or anything else, most likely. I mean, this character counters the ones we just paid for before. I'm sure the next ones will counter the next one. So if you're going to skip all the summer people, I mean, I think at Degas, I got 14 out of 19 and it didn't even have the Zez left to pity them because I didn't want to spend money on it. You know, you could get boned. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about it. Now, moving on here to the new exclusive weapons added. These are basically just new summer-looking weapons. Kind of look cool. They're just beach weapons. I kind of like Degas' Purple Rider. I think that's his. I think that's going to replace his shield. That's what it looks like anyway. It'd be kind of weird if he has a shield and he has like a surfboard. But anyway. So moving on here, the exclusive weapon up chance recruit, July 29th. This is actually the 30th because that's when we had it. You have an increased chance to pull yourself the exclusive weapon for the character that's going to be on the banner. Basically, if you have a character, this is just a way for them to make tons more revenue. I'd never do this. Just let's get that out of the way now. It's not worth it. The exclusive weapons aren't good. It barely gives you any additional power. This is only a full well thing, and even if it is full well, it's terrible pricing. You can basically pretend this never existed, and we're all going to be fine. The only way this is kind of cool is if there's a visual effect you really want, because these are skins for weapons basically. If you want one of those really bad, I guess that'd be cool for you, if that way you can get your hands on it. But yeah, don't do this. Not a fan. You can see here the additional stats you get. So you do get a little bit of bonus stats, a little bit of critical hit and all that, a little bit of combat power and a little bit of attack, but I don't believe it's worth it, because if you look here, the obtain rate for the Summer Braith is 0.5%, so you don't even get the same drop rate to get that weapon that you would to get the character, so it's rarer to get the weapon than the character, okay? And that's kind of rough, and it's a 28 pity pull. It should have been like a 5 or a 10 pity pull. It's really expensive at 700 Zez in, considering you're probably going to get a lot of legendary pieces, and you're lucky if you get faded pieces at all. And then they said the exclusive weapon mileage are initialized each time the chance up recruit is changed, okay? So I would just pretend like that never existed, in my personal opinion. Don't think it's very good. And then we're going to move forward here. The main system updates and modifications. This is where the content really starts to get exciting here. Now, keep in mind, this is just new to the game, so I haven't had a chance to test this out first. It's 8 a.m. where I'm at. I'm waking up and going over this now, so you do expect videos in the future of me going through each one of these, testing it, giving my opinion, looking for bugs, things like that. If you would like to see that, please do consider subscribing to the channel. That way you can be notified of that in the future, and I can also get help from that as well, so I appreciate that. So Path of Trials are going to be really exciting because it's story-based content from the bosses that we dealt with the storyline. Now, if you remember the storyline, if you're done with it already, and if not, you're probably on 9 or 10 and getting angry, is that the bosses are quite difficult in this campaign story, and it's not that they're really... Well, I get you could say it's paywall because sometimes the right characters will get you through it, but really they're just kind of difficult. They're weighing their stat checks as well as, you know, kind of game mechanic checks, making sure you know what you're doing. And now they're adding bosses relevant with it. So I'm just going to read it here. Path of Trials, you'll be facing bosses who stood against you in the main storyline, but this time they'll be even more powerful, okay? So, you know, buffed up versions. Once you clear the main story 4-6, you'll be able to participate in the Path of Trials by... Oh, that's a typo from the Path of Trials, by clicking the button on the bottom right corner of the story menu. The Path of Trials consists of 5 chapters. By the way, if you wonder why I keep scratching my back, I went golfing, I got bug bit. The Path to State Prosperity, the Path to Verdant, the Glittering Steel, the Path to Scorching Desert, and the Path of the Frozen North, aka these all 5 paths, okay? And what this here kind of shows you a visual representation of it, just so you can see there's like the character, the different one, you get rewards, you know, 200, 400, looks like 700 Zez as well. Pretty exciting there. The first stage clear rewards differ according to each stage, and you can receive the rewards only once, first clear. So these are just a one-time bonus rewards, it looks like. The obtainable list for the stage clear are 5-6 experience scrolls, abrasions, which is like polish basically, star spirits, the holy water of the universe, that's really good, mystic meteorites, gold, and legendary through faded weapons, and exclusive weapon craft ticket. These are all pretty nice here. As a final stage clear reward, the path of Trial Chapter 3 and 5. The exclusive weapon craft ticket will be sent to your mailbox. Ooh, exciting. Okay, so we get an exclusive weapon craft ticket as well. That'll be nice for people that are having bad RNG. You can guarantee yourself a weapon at least. And then here, unlike the previous story, you can check the info on the next stage in advance. That is cool as well. You can get a little bit of information so you can build your team for it. Just that way for noobs who are like coming into the game without having to look things up, they'll be able to see it there. Now, the star mileages will be given according to the stage mission clear results, and extra reward Zez, good, thank God, Zez is the most important thing in the game, will be given according to the mileage you have attained so far. Basically what they're saying is kind of completion is percentage. As you complete through it, you're going to be getting Zez, is what they mean here. I know sometimes the lyrics can be a little, I say lyrics, but it's the translation can be a little off. And then here it says the star mileage resorts from Zez from each chapter are the same. Please check the details in the game. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm actually gonna pull up the game real quick. I'm gonna start the update, and at the end of this, we will boot up the game and we'll take a look at this actually in the game. I got the update going right now. So you can see the combat power information here. They say there's extreme, very hard, normal, and easy. This is essentially telling you how difficult it's going to be before you get into the battle, basically. It's just giving you a power requirement. This is the same as they have in anything. Don't worry about this, okay? This is just saying, are you going to be able to, do this very easily or not? Not really a big deal. Unlock the previous story content. The combat power penalty will be applied in 4 levels: easy, normal, very hard, extreme. Click on the difficulty UI button for the combat power info, okay? So instead of just having it like be the circle, they're just kind of breaking it down in a little bit more detailed thing. That's all really what they're saying here. Not a big deal. Now, the Labyrinth is actually kind of a big deal. This is pretty cool. The renewed Labyrinth has been updated. Look at this. This looks very exciting. I think they did a pretty good job on the UI there. The Labyrinths have been divided into 5 different themes. Each theme is 5 lower Labyrinth dungeons, and you get to obtain Zez by clearing the lower Labyrinth. So as you go down and beat these farther ones, I'm assuming 5 here, you will get your Zez. And then you may clear only 1 dungeon a day, and you will not be able to re-enter once you clear the dungeon. The rewards differ according to the difficulty of the dungeon. You need 20 levy stones to enter the dungeon. So it's 20 per. That's 100 levy stones, aka 500 levy stones. You can see your the final rewards here. Looks like holy waters are the best one. Now moving down. In the Labyrinth, the formation penalties are removed, and there are no conditions to enter the dungeon, aka you can use whatever team you want. The Labyrinth will be initialized every month as before. Now we don't have to wait. We were 1 month without the Labyrinth because they were retuning it. And the reason they were retuning it is because, to be honest, we were getting quite a bit of Zez, and I think they were upset by that. I think they had to retune it to make the UI better. Admittedly, the UI was pretty basic, and then they probably retuned it to spread the rewards out, because really we were just getting a absolute ton of Zez, and that wasn't good. At least for their mentality. It was good for us. I think it was fine, but that's how they saw it. Now, the Labyrinth can be played after the update, so it's playable on the 1st. As they say, the contest initialized on the 1st day of each month. It'll be initialized as of August 1st. So it's added in the game, but you can't play to the 1st. That's what they're saying here. So if you're wondering why we can't actually get into it, that's why. In order to minimize problems during installation, the Labyrinth cannot be played from 3 to 5 on the 5th. So there's a maintenance time, a 2-hour maintenance time in Korean time. Now, this is the other largest change in the game here. This is the Hero Element Enhancement Update. The new enhancement system has been added. Now you can enhance each hero's elements. So if you're wondering what that means, here's the little fancy graph they have it here. Basically, we can use the disassembled tokens, the things we get from Dragon, in MU. So hopefully you have some MU from your pose you saved. And now we can do these different levels of enhancement, so we can bring them up. And you have to have different levels of Transcend to be able to enhance them, aka if you want to be level 5 in Enhanced, you have to have level 5 Transcend and level 5 Enhanced. So all 5 enhances have to happen either way. But you get the Element Enhanced, which what it does is allows you to break multiple stones on an attack. So if a basic attack would have done 1 stone break, now you're breaking 2. And then at the second level, you're breaking 3, at the third level 4, and etc. You understand, which is going to make this pretty nuts because it's going to end at 6, which means when you basic attack, you will break an entire set. If they have the same set all in one hit, this might make rainbow colors in PvP or set matching, like multiple sets together, more important. We'll have to wait and see how that balances out in PvP, but I would assume mix and matching colors would be more important. Now, the success rate for element enhance differs according to the enhancement level. Each time you fail to element enhance, the bonus rate will be added to your next enhanced rate. Basically the exact same as almost everything else. When you get the bonus percentage, here is the percentage probability. It goes 100 to 70 to 50 to 30, then only 15%. So that is a pretty big bummer that you only get 15% at the end. It's definitely going to leave room for some pretty major error in there. Now, basic success rate and bonus rate for each level. Note that there will be no bonus on status. Element enhancement requires gold, fate core MU, 5 colored fate stones, and heroic tokens. So you're going to need quite a bit of resources. Plus, if we notice here when we scroll up, it looks like it was also costing 300,000 gold. This will be the most expensive enhancement in the game, right next to Weapon Awakening at 150,000. Now, scrolling down here, the amount of materials consumed will remain the same regardless of the enhanced level, so that way at least it's not getting more and more and more. I like that. You can check the element enhancement info in the top left corner for managed heroes. You can see here there'll be a number right on your element. That's actually a pretty good UI. I think that's nice. Now, unlike the Guardian Stones, there is no set effect for element enhancement, so aka when you get all of them, there's no bonus. That's fine. There shouldn't be a bonus. The bonus in and of itself is breaking the stones. Now, we're going to move to the Choice Forge update here, and this is going to be running for a period of, what, 2 days, 3 days here? It looks like 3 days if you include the 31st. The Choice Forge has been added. From the Choice Forge, you can craft equipment, selecting its attack type and part. So this is going to allow you to be able to pick what you want a chance at having dropped. And this is going to be pretty crucial. It was Kyra Mobile said in one of his videos that the reason he likes this is because it's so difficult to get one piece of gear depending on your account. For me, it's physical accessories. I agree with that. Being able to filter through and pick what I want to be able to try to pull, that's pretty exciting. So I do like this a lot. So let's just read it. You can select the attack type and part you would like to craft. You will always obtain that equipment that corresponds to the options you've chosen. Note that the only armors are tablable from the Choice Forge. You cannot craft weapons. Each craft will cost 700 Zez, including the first craft, which will be discounted 200 Zez. Once you fill up your mileage, you can receive a craft ticket with the options you've chosen before. Let's stop there for a second. So it's going to be 700 Zez like the normal Forge. Might be the first time the Forge is actually worth it, but the first craft, which will be discounted to 200 Zez. Now, if this is a first craft daily, you can guarantee that I'm going to be on there polling because I need my accessories in order to complete my sets. And this is also a highly needed buff to polling equipment due to the fact that we're going to be popping Guardian Stones more due to the enhancement. This is kind of going to get everyone on the level. I do think that's interesting. They're adding all this into the game pretty soon after the release. It's either they're really trying to pump this game out with super quality, or they had this stuff ready, they milked the money first, and then they're pumping out all this stuff afterwards. That way people had to well out in the beginning to get the advantage first. That definitely could be a thing. Not sure. I'm going to be an optimist this time since we're new into the game, and we're going to say, yeah, they're probably trying their very best because these are 2 large updates. These are full of content in here. It's pretty nice. Holy Dragon Ground has changed. Now it's only 1 ticket. They added a new phase. The new phase basically does an AoE stun as well as ramping and reverse ramping you. Everything else is the same in terms of how this is effectively going to affect you. It just means that it's the same dragon you're going to go through. In the end, it's kind of a stamina thing, like how long can you go? Because he's going to slowly decrease your attack more and more every round, basically. And he becomes immortal at the end of it, and it starts with a stun, okay? And he also nullifies like your elemental damage and removes the mark and cleanses everything. So think of it like this way. Normal dragon, then the last phase, it's like a fresh start, and you guys just go as long as you can, okay? And he ramps and the reverse ramps you. That's all it really is, okay? Now, moving on from that, it's going to be a gift from the Great One update. This is awesome. When you meet with a user who has a polymog, you can acquire a gift from the button above the user's polymog. If you click that, the gift is sent to your mailbox. You can get a maximum of 30 gifts in one day. You can only get 1 gift from 1 user in 1 day. And you can get Zodium, Gold, Levy Stones, Solar Seals, or Circos And this is basically the pets that bounce around in your town you can get from doing PvE. Pretty big fan of that. I like that they're adding this stuff in. 30 is pretty nice. Anything that allows you as an active user to get a small advantage when you're actually playing the game is pretty cool, I think. Voice actor update. I don't really care about this. The translations are terrible in the game. They need to fix the text over the voice acting, but they added some voice acting changes here. Now, this should have been added before. This is the fusion ability lock function update. Effectively, when you're fusing cores, what can happen is your stats can actually go down instead of going up. Like, they can become worse, which is really, really weird for me. I don't know why it was ever designed this way, and I didn't realize it was designed this way till after I fused all my different fake cores together. But now, if you have a really good roll, you can lock it so you don't try to re-roll it again. If you didn't know it, if you have multiple fake cores, you can re-roll them constantly with each other to try to get more and more and more stats up to a certain point. And now you have a way of locking stats once you actually get them. This should have been added before. I really like this. Ability reached a rank has a lock button after fusion. You can use the lock function when you click it. 100 says is needed to lock one ability. You can use the lock function for the blue-rated fake core buff ability. So pretty nice. Should have been added before in my personal opinion, but I like that. Skill changes. I'm going to go through these briefly here because it's not too big of a deal, just a little bit balancing. They changed the name from Ice Shower to Flap Flap and Flop Flop. Really stupid. Flap Flop and Flop Flop. I don't know why you would ever name it this. If the caster has a removable buff, recovery, positive effects, these value attack, abuse, polymorph on the target for 3 turns. They call them modification already. I don't know why they're calling it polymorph here. Again, terrible translation. They can stay consistent with the translation. This seems basic. All actions are disabled while the effect lasts. It's basically just a stun. I don't know why they insist on having 85 names for a stun. I mean, just I know that they want to make them all different, but it's like they do the same thing. They're not really different. They're making it the same. So it's kind of interesting that they keep doing that. Now, the passive of the Dragon Knight Blessing here. Enhanced Dragon Fang effect by each element's dragon by 20% is added for the passive Dragon Knight Blessing and Dragon Hunter Blessing, aka the new skill in the last phase. You now have a reduction for example, if the hero has a Dragon Blessing passive, is Darkness Element decreases the enhanced Dragon Fang effect used by the Darkness Element dragon by 20%. Got it. Pretty simple. Match colors. Now, they added a tutorial guide for some of the things in the game. Not really that important. Just the kind of the help guide got updated here, which is good because the text is terrible. Hero Battle update, period. After the updates, August 12th. So I'm not really sure what this meant. Oh, Hero Battle, right, for the in-game. So we're getting the new Hero Battle, which is going to be April and Lucian. Okay, I see. We're going to ignore the lore. We're not really going to go through all that. If you want, you can read that. But these are the new 2 characters coming to the game. Not really terribly exciting, in my personal opinion. Don't really care about those guys. There's a new world event now. Man, can you believe how much content there is here? This is insane. There's the Bayer Electric Fan. Okay, so after the update on August 11th, this is coming. And it's a Door of Creation recipe. You can acquire the Electric Fan when you defeat Golem, Totem, and World or through exploration, and you can exchange them into the Door of Creation recipe. And I'm not really sure what the recipe is going to be doing. Let's see if I missed anything here. You can acquire them from defeating them in the world through acquire, can be exchanged. Okay, so apparently they're adding something to the game here. Using these, we'll get some, maybe we'll be able to roll for some polish or something, just some random XP books, or it looks like just another random residual reward, nothing too big, or they would have listed it there. The Exos Pass update. This content allows you to clear a given mission and raise the pass level to achieve the various rewards needed for hero growth. The free pass and premium pass rewards have been changed, so aka we have a new battle pass. They'll be opened after clearing the story 0501. But now, when the max level of an Exo Pass is achieved, the pass experience point obtained through missions and battles is changed to gold, which is great because gold is the great bottleneck in this game, if you were not aware. Now, the attendance books have been changed. You can refresh your attendance book if you need to. Make sure you get your Zez first before you refresh it. The Air Squadron Battle bug fix, which showed incorrect statistics being indicated from results with the opponent team with no heroes, has been fixed. Let's see, from the result with the opponent team with no. I guess there was a bug during the battles if someone didn't set teams. I'm not quite sure what this means, to be honest. I haven't seen this one, but managing the air squadron's been something that I haven't had the time to do as much lately. The Wug Run Fest here. The issue with the game has changed from solo to multi. The situation table has been fixed. So when you enter in solo mode, you can. Nice. So now you can just straight do solo mode. If you guys have seen my videos before, you know doing the Wug Run's kind of important for free Zeds. So now you can just do solo mode. That's a buff. Air Squadron Raid. Looks like it's just some bug fixes here. Graphics. Just a bunch of bug fixes once again. More bug for the Dragon Blood is not removed from a hero with the Great One effect if the hero does not take any damage for 2 turns. Wow. That's actually kind of a big deal there. So the Dragon Blood was staying for longer than 2 turns. That's going to change things. Okay, so attendance book issues have been fixed. Some sound issues have been fixed. And then the embodiment of avarice, the issue, which is the final slot not being unlocked when reaching the required score of S ranks, has been fixed. So if you got S rank before and you were not able to get that to the next rank, now you can. And the slot being open, even though you had not achieved the rank, has been fixed. So just balance changes, bug fixes there at the end. Then you have the comments here. Just kind of going over and talking about lots of people saying there's great stuff. Some people complain about the maintenance, and it's kind of par for the course in terms of comments. But look at this patch. I mean, oh my God, can you look at how many things are in this patch for us to do? Okay, it's giving me a selection ticket, and you know what? I have this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I've got all of these here, right? Wait, who's this chick? That's my, okay, I have her. Wait, I've got all of these people. I thought you could pick Janai. No, where is she? I have all of these people. No. All right. I could probably take, I should probably take a Loom, to be honest. Now that I think about it, I should probably take a Loom and just transcend her, huh? I could also transcend Baraka. This is a hard one. I thought for sure I could pick Janai in here, but I guess I cannot. So it's going to have to be a Loom, I suppose. And I want to go in and really review all of this stuff. But to be honest, guys, if I go through and look at all of this right now, this is going to end up being a very long video, which it's fairly long already. So we're going to cut it here. Yeah, subscribe if you want to see me going over all of the rest of these in detail and trying it out in game. I appreciate you guys watching this one. This is probably the best patch I've seen in any game, to be honest. Tons and tons of new content. Really exciting time to be playing Exos. Love you all and can't wait to see you on the next one.